Preparing to live stream. Oh my lord, according to the modern internet realm, it might be working. Let's give it a second. My screen's
He
still
says
glitching.
we're live on YouTube.
Okay, for me it's going really slow. We are in the slowest YouTubes that oh, there we go. I hear it is working. Let me find my Zoom screen. And okay, we made it. We are live on YouTube. So we're going to give it a few moments for people to jump over from the other one. I'm going to real quickly, while we're all here, kind of letting everything get warmed up. I'm going to try to go ahead and share this link. So, or also one of you guys in the background, please do share this link as well.
That's what
If
I was trying to do.
perfect.
Let me see if I can pull it up and okay,
There we go.
I'll go to YouTube.
I see some people popping in over there. Greetings, everyone. We are live. It is supposedly still the year 2023. And every now and then over here at this place we call the multidimensional trailer park, we get to have a few really, really fun moments of complete meltdown and just glitch out and all kinds of randomness. And today, I think was one for the records. It was like one for the absolute record books. So I am really I hear myself talking in the background over there. But I am really honored to have with us here today a number of people. And so here's what happened for our larger community. We kind of put the feelers out to do an end of year Ascension meme a review, and I sent this out to a bunch of people, not knowing who would be drawn in. And lo and behold, this is who we have with us here today. We might have one or two other people coming in. But basically, the idea is that I think as a soul group, as a unit, as this kind of collection of wandering, we could say activating, we could say just remembering souls. One of the things that I've noticed kind of binds many timelines, many individuals, many paths together over the last few years has been the collective rise of the artistic or expressional medium known as memes, which it sounds silly and kind of trite the way I'm already talking about it, but it is something that I think connects everyone in some form or another. And it's, I think, one of the ways in which we continue to interact, we continue to kind of share our energy. You know, for those of you guys that kind of remember the cringe term from like 2019 and 20, the meme warrior, that was a thing. Remember how everybody was sharing truth memes and they're like, you're a meme warrior. And I'm going to be real, I cringed at it. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I would like gag every time I hear it. But that's just me. And I'm sort of a Luddite, like in a lot of ways. And I think over the years it has just become something that has given us the ability to communicate the incommunicable. And so we have with us just a few guests here today, some people that have come through. A lot of you guys have seen Aurora Diamond Heart. She's been on our show, I think back in the old days, right? I think it was like, by the old days, I mean, what was that, February? Like it was like
Oh man, it was
February.
a while ago. It was a
It was,
while
I
ago.
feel like
It
it
was
was February or March, maybe. But she is one of our mods as well. She's one of the people that's always in the background, kind of pushing the buttons. And so we have Aurora Diamond Heart. For those of you guys that don't know, she's one of the foremost kind of meme cultivators within our current community on Facebook. A lot of you guys will see her work, and so she's brought together a wild collection of stuff we're going to look at in a moment. And we're very grateful for James Rink. You guys, James Rink of Super Soldier Talk, and we also have a friend in the background, Michael Young, correct?
Yep.
Cool.
Hey
Yeah, thank
guys.
you. Yeah, thank you for being here, you guys. I did a really cool interview over on James's show. Honestly, it was months ago, right? It was like
Yeah. This
six,
back in
7 months
July.
ago, and it was quite a while ago. But James is a person that I've had the pleasure of spending some time in the physical body with this year. And there's a very particular thing that takes place when you're trying to understand who and what a person is, and then you actually get to be around them within their energy. And I have found him to be a very credible and a completely unique individual. There's nobody like you. And anyway, thanks for being here, James. He's also saving us. He's the one that's going to be presenting the memes because my computer is kind of in meltdown mode. I want everybody to cross your fingers that it doesn't crash because it literally would not respond this whole time. That's why we've been so late. And then finally, down here in the corner, we got Mr. Rob Khalil from Typical Skeptic. First of all, thank you for being here, Rob. I know you have like shows every night, all night long, pretty much, right?
But I was gonna say I'm so used to having you guys on my show. Like you guys, I always say you guys are the best tarot readers that ever come on my show. So like, I'm used to it being the other way around. And James, I'm used to having James all as well on my show too. So it's awesome to be here with you guys. Like I'm excited for this.
Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. I always say this. This is kind of a self, what's the word, deprecating thing, but it's also kind of humorously true. Rob is like the only person whose show I go on regularly, and I'm deeply honored for that, Rob. I think you give so many people in our soul group an opportunity to like tell their story, to be seen, to put themselves out there to the community in a way that honestly, truly, 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 I don't see almost anyone else doing it like that. And I really honor you for that. You're a person that it's like you always know you can go, on your channel at, such and such time of night. And this guy's like doing a show. If it's not live, it's very, very recent. You know what I mean? It's like you're really good at cultivating like what's the word? I guess like a community, for lack of a better word. But anyway, thank you for being here.
Thanks. That means a lot. I really appreciate that.
Totally. Totally. I guess anyways, we're going to go ahead and start it off. I'm going to ask each of you guys if you have some top shows or things that you've been involved with over the year. But in the meantime, James, if you want to bring it out, you guys, this is our mission tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We share the language of our times, what some call, the zeitgeist, which is literally translated to the spirit of our times through the imagery, through what we see in this strange realm. And I'm gonna be real. It's kind of the only thing that I think keeps me going at times. I'll sort of wake up in the morning and start looking at all this weird shit. And anyway, see if you can start the screen share up, and everyone's gonna take. We're gonna kind of go through and just kind of talk about what we're discovering, what we see.
All right, do you see it?
Okay, it's working. I'm just kind of ranting here, hoping that it'll show up. So we got it. Boom, dude, it's been a crazy year, right? Which month did this come out, Cassandra? Tell us a little bit about your whole scene in your channel. What's been going on?
Well, this particular meme, this was around the beginning of last year, actually. So that's probably one of the first reasons I picked one of these ones was because, honestly, I get most of my news from the memes that I find, because I didn't even know this was a big deal until I started seeing just tons of memes about the price of eggs going up. Okay, and this guy right here, Pedro Pascal, I think his name is, he is really big in the memeing
Dude,
community right now.
Who the hell is this fucking guy?
Dude.
Sorry.
No, you're all
Who
right.
is this dude, you guys? Do you guys know? He's on like everything now. Is he like the new like Illuminati like star child that they've chosen?
He's gotta be. He's gotta
He
be.
was on the Last of Us. It was about
Yes, that's where those pictures are actually from. Is from that show, The Last of Us, which was amazing. Just
Did
in case
anybody
anyone
here
hasn't watched
play
it.
that game? Did anybody play the game Last of Us?
So on the moon, I had a relationship with Rachel, Amber, Chloe, and the other girl, whatever. Yeah, but I don't want to say too much because it was mutual. Never mind, guys.
How did it end? Like what happened?
We ended up having a daughter, and so she's living in Los Angeles, and she's looking for her father. But that's all I knew. And then she contacted me from an underground facility, and Facebook found the algorithm saw something fishy was going on, so I ended up losing my Facebook account. This is back in 2017. So during my time on the moon as James Ring, I was a lot more taller, muscular, and a lot more like, I don't know, but so she was attracted to that, and so when she saw me, she cried. Never mind, I'm telling you guys too much, but
Cool.
yeah, she was addicted to Cortexiphan because that was part of the Monarch girls, and the last I heard from her is she basically is. She wanted to go to an alternate reality, the reality where the Nazis won World War II.
Yeah.
Because in that timeline, Hitler killed Paul Serene personally. So Monarch basically financed the revolution. They've been around for a long for tens of thousands of years, but they're one of the reasons why so many things are wrong with our planet. But so Hitler took care of that, and they released all the free energy. So it was a really nice place to live. unless you're
Nice.
into interracial marriage, then you have a problem. But
Then it's a
so
problem.
that's the last I heard from her since then. So anyway,
Whoa.
I'm sorry we went down that divergent. You guys wanted to know, and I will if my daughter can contact. I mean, I don't know her. I was going to ask her name, and I forgot to ask her the name, and I was hoping I could talk to her again. But anyway, so
I love it. No, honestly, James,
that's all I know about.
this is I'm just gonna be real. This is actually why I love you, because you will bring the most bizarre yet completely authentic elements of yourself and your experience into this. I have just one question, then I'm gonna hand it over to Rob, because I'm curious what flavor you're vaping. But did you meet Pedro Pascal? Like does he have like a clone altar in like the, like in the SSP?
Is this question for me?
Yes.
Not that I'm aware of, but yeah, if you typically in the SSP they would when they release you, you would be I mean, well, when you sign up, they would tell you you're supposed to get a cushy job. For instance, Tucker Carlson was high up in the ICC, and he got the cushy job. But you know, he's doing a lot of great work. But on the other hand, it would be great if he could just tell people that he was in the ICC, but maybe he doesn't remember. But yeah, that just gives you an example. But for instance, like Paul Serene, his clone in this reality is the actor Kevin Spacey. So and another one that I always cringe when I look at her is Taylor Swift. Her
Is Taylor Swift, you guys? What is
yeah,
she?
so
This is a question I want
Is
everybody
she
to
a
answer.
clone?
she is the clone of Janet Shaw. So Janet Shaw's sister, Heather Shaw, runs the Shaw House. So Shaw House, Heather Shaw is the Sumerian goddess of the underworld, Orishagal. So I, on a mission to Kruger, I was tasked with taking her out, and I did. I took her out, but she wouldn't stay dead. So she sent her sister Janet to recruit me into Montauk because so Shaw House is responsible for all the human trafficking on this planet. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it, one of them. And so
So
they,
Is her sister like Anana then in this equivalent to Sumerian? Because I remember Reshigmal and Inanna were like sisters. So like would their sister Janet be Inanna?
that's a good question. I worth investigating, but what I do know, Heather Shaw, her clone is Vanessa Kirby, the actress Vanessa Kirby. So you can go take a look,
Very
check all
interesting.
that out.
Damn. Huh. So she's not Xena LeVay then, correct? Because
Well,
I know
I've heard
that's a
that.
very common one. That's a common one.
Maybe that's another profile of hers. Maybe she's got more than one. Maybe there's more than even two. Could be it.
I don't think she is. For some reason, like the Xena timeline, it's like maybe, and this is me speaking in like the complete deep end of the conspiratorial pool. Maybe they took like a multi-part sample and like we're going to create the perfect pop star. You know what I mean? Come totally, like the perfect what's the word? Like mass
Avatar?
produced, yeah, there you go. Avatar. There you go. Anyway, watch out. I'll go on and on about it. But Mr. Young, how much are eggs where you live right now?
Okay,
Oh, we
go
can't,
ahead. Go ahead.
we couldn't hear
Say that
him.
again, please.
how much how much
I have a chicken coop. I have 9 hens. I get like 7 eggs a day,
whoa.
and I only learned how to do this in the last 6 months. And my hens are training me, but they're just lovebirds. They are, the minute I come out, they're all over me. So we go out once a day and pick eggs, and there is a cost for the feed and stuff like that. I imagine I pay about $2.99 for a dozen eggs by virtue of having my own garden and my own chicken yard.
Nice.
And they're
Nice.
organic, free range.
They're
Yeah.
all organic, yes.
They have lots of love.
Yeah.
Well, how about milk? How about the price of milk?
M Milk is expensive. Thanks for Aldi's. I mean, Aldi's has organic whole milk for like $3.99 for half a gallon, and that's pretty good.
Huh.
I started making my own kefir or kefir at
Yeah.
home, and oh my gosh, that is the simplest way to have all the probiotics you'll ever need in your gut is to just do that. It's simple to do.
Huh.
Just take a couple of tablespoons a day at the end of the day before you go to bed, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
We're both from North Carolina, by the way.
Okay, interesting. You will definitely survive when the society falls. Why? Because you have chickens. You know what I mean?
Well,
You have access to
I've been
eggs.
seeing this coming for 25 years. I'm getting ready in the 1st of March to turn 78 years old. And I'm a Vietnam vet, and I have seen all kinds of
Nice.
shit. And
Nice.
it's given me the gift of being basically paranoid. Like I have just this gift of sniffing out every possible threat that's going on the planet.
Nice.
And
Nice.
so I've been preparing for a long time for all of this. And and I don't have any recollections of the SSP, and I'm very connected in with the benign alien races that are helping the Earth at this point in time. I work a lot directly with them,
Nice.
and they with me, and it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been
Thank
a
you.
healer for 30 years, so
I
professionally.
can feel it. Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you for
glad
your
to-
service, Mr. Young. My dad was a vet too,
Absolutely.
a Vietnam vet. So
Yeah.
Well, you're very welcome. It was a learning experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for just randomly showing up right at the time we were going to do this show. I mean this sincerely. You're sort of leading me to a question that I want to ask everyone here before we bring in the next meme. And I guess one of the things that we saw over the year of 2023, going back to our theme of end of year randomness, craziness, mind virus timeline review. One of the things that we saw within 2023 was that we have come the closest we have come since maybe Cold War era to all of a sudden being in what we might call a war, some kind of armed conflict. And we've seen them happening all over the world. And it's very interesting because we have your perspective as well, having been in Nam. And my question is for you guys, as we go into 2024, what do you see in terms of armed conflict? Are we stepping into World War III, IV? Are they going to drop some nuke over New York? Is it all a sham? Is it a show? Is it time for Project Bluebeam? And maybe we'll start with Rob because he's the one usually asking the questions. But yeah,
well, I was gonna say I was hoping that like maybe the awakening kind of oversees like whatever war plans that the establishment has. Like I don't know how much I can count on the awakening or all the people that are waking up and that are like they just don't want to accept the war narrative anymore, and I don't want to say any key terms because I don't want to get you booted off YouTube, but that's the best way I can put it. I mean, do you think that I don't know. I'm wondering if we have the ability to overcome the war narrative, so that it doesn't end up happening. Like, and sometimes I wonder if these like power brokers, these bankers and stuff, if they just have their own agendas and they're going to do whatever they're going to do, and we're just mass casualties of it, though. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I honestly don't either. Anybody else? Cassandra, James, anybody else?
I don't think war is coming like that. I do think we're going to overcome it somehow. I don't know why. It's just my intuitive sense that's saying like, no, I don't feel that timeline coming. I know they want us to like co-create that, I'm sure, with our consciousness and where we're putting our attention. But I'm certainly not going to put my attention on it to help them do that at all. So I'm just going to stay in my lane and keep going.
Well,
Nice.
I think that's the whole threat is basically to distract everybody from what they're really doing, is getting ready to steal everybody's money through something called the Great Retake.
Reset.
No, retake. Retake is, they have been quietly since 2008 setting up the international banking system so that no matter what assets you have other than gold and silver in your own possession, they have legally found a way that they can basically bail in everything you have, including the deed on your house, to pay for the 2.5 quadrillion derivative market that they created that's ready to collapse. And so this is really the cutting edge of what's been learned in the last couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I don't feel it either. I drove like a madman in the dark to get here tonight. At 78, I'm not a great driver at night, and I haven't been in Charlotte except once to visit James in 28 years. And I had no sense of place, no sense of, what would you call it? Direction, driving.
Right.
I got here, I walked in, I sat down with James here and began to listen to y'all. And my heart went boing. And the quality of what was in my heart is hope. It's hope. It's like amazing that throughout my whole life, I've lived pretty much without hope. And I've had one other experience of a lot of hope when I received a healing from another healer. And I went, oh, that's hope. I didn't know that. I didn't know that existed.
Nice.
But I'm feeling it big time here. And I think the deep state is scared shitless. I think that people are at the point of just saying no more. We're going to have mass demonstrations, probably, but no nuclear war. You know, none of them are willing to do that. And the ETs won't let them do that. So there we are.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. All right. So what I see happening with the aggregate of the guest speakers that come on my show, what we think is going to happen is that it looks like there's going to be some kind of event, probably in March or April, mid-April, possibly a first contact event where the ETs just there'll be like a meeting of minds where the vibration of the planet is going up to the point where, because they're basically just like in a dimensional veil that they're just outside of our perception. So we are raising up to that dimensional frequency, but they are also going to come down a little bit so we can accelerate the first contact event to basically, because the world governments are supposed to tell the public about the presence of our extraterrestrial star families, but there's also the issue of the secret space program veterans. They need to be told to and paid and compensated for their time and work. So the war in the Ukraine is going to be coming to an end soon. It looks like it's going to be a stalemate. I think possibly Russia might even break apart over the next 100 years. I mean, we're looking down the timeline. The United States will probably see a EBS, and then we might even see like public hangings, or maybe even on public television, while the public is educated, and also why our extraterrestrial star family are going to come and land, and we can meet with them and interview them and let people know we're basically living in a matrix, and it's all going to come to an end. We're going to be set free.
Yeah.
I hope that happens.
Why not?
That would be amazing.
Why the hell not? Mr. Rink, can you queue up the next meme?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
And in the background, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Rob. I'm sorry. What was can you think of the most randomest moment from any show that you've done this year? Was there?
Oh my God. I looked for this, and there was, so I felt like, you know me, I always feel like I have interference, and that could be a little bit of paranoia, or it could just be like someone's really messing with me, or you never know what it is, right? But I had this show with Bobby the Messenger. She's from Australia. And we were talking about something, and I said the word benevolence, and then Zoom just started to repeat it over and over and over again. And it went for like 5 minutes long. It kept going, benevolence, 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 benevolence. And she said, "Do you want to edit that out?" I was like, "No, let's just keep it in." And then I had to make a new Zoom link and start a whole new show. And then but I cut it, I didn't leave the whole, it was going pretty crazy for like 3 minutes. I still don't know what it was to this day.
Benevolence. Whoa. Damn.
And it just repeated over and over and over again, like for like 5 minutes. Like it was weird.
Okay. Whoa. Random. Okay. Weird. So I would probably lose my shit if I was on a show and that happened. I would definitely lose my shit. What happened to our meme? Is it gone? I noticed it was Jesus oriented, which, let's be real, this year was a really big year for what some would call, I guess I'm making this cheesy the way I'm doing this, some would call the opposite of Jesus. Not that even makes sense, but satanic energy had a big upsurge this year. It was seen throughout so many forms of popular media. It was nearly broadcast and stated out and out by a number of, elitists and people in, positions of power all over the world. And yet at the same time, we are told by everyone else in the new age communities and the disclosure scenes, to hold our light. Don't worry. The bad guys are leaving. The tunnels are cleared. And maybe that's true, maybe it's not true, but this year we saw a really big, I don't know, in my opinion, I think we saw, the opposite of that rise up in a lot of ways. What do you guys think about it? Has this been a year for like victory of the light, or has this been a year where we continue to experience that strangulation? What's your views on that? Whoever wants to go first.
Well, personally, I think that we can't really let ourselves focus on that, on the fact that there may be all these other things happening on, under the surface and stuff, because if we do that, we just get complacent and we just think, oh, we don't have to do anything. We just have to just relax and enjoy the show, right? Like I just think that's it's not the way to go about it. We still have to work on ourselves. We still have to do the things that we need to do to get our mission going and keep going, like, so
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus is
Yeah.
here. Knock on the door. He's here.
Was that like one of your top most liked memes, or was that just one that you chose?
I really like that one. I do get a lot of people usually like my Jesus memes, although I did get blocked from someone for posting a Jesus meme the other day, so I didn't bring that controversial one. But yeah, I really like the Jesus meme because he's coming to the door because he's seen some of the memes I posted. So that's what I tell myself, and it makes me laugh every time. So
What
we
makes me
brought that one
laugh
along.
about that is it's like if Jesus really came back in this day and age, would he come back packing because of the way society is?
Oh,
I
Jesus
think
would
he
be
would.
packing.
I think he
Yeah, he would.
would. I want to believe Jesus would, but I'm gonna be real. I think he'd probably have an AR-15. And of course, and just like in the meme, he's gonna have a 1911 in God's I can't even say it, God's caliber, which we know, 45 ACP.
So I have
Yeah.
something to comment about this.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm making it weird.
So when I was I wouldn't say a child, we guess a young adult, I would have visions of seeing Jesus on the cross, and so I went back and through like regression work and so on. I see myself there, part of his group, and my name was back then was Harriman. So I was responsible. I was basically like security for his group. I would help hand out food for the crowd and usher or so on, and also help try to raise money. So basically the message that Jesus was teaching was that our star family, our basically celestial sons and brothers and daughters and so on, our family, they're basically they are coming back, and that they love us and they care about us, and that the church, what they did is they changed it all. So instead of Starship Bethlehem, it was Star of Bethlehem, and so I think the three wise men probably came from inner Earth, the Garthia, or maybe even Tartaria or some other. Yeah, but yeah, as you know, the Council of Nicaea took out reincarnation from the Bible, and the church is basically a corruption of what it should have been. But yeah, so that's I guess that's all I have to say about
Yeah.
that.
I think a lot of us were around during that time. I know it always gets kind of cringe for some people, like in the community, when you start to like bring in like the Jesus like connection, because we all have so much programming around what that energy like represents, and it's very much dependent on how you were raised, and there's a bunch of factors to it. But one of the things that I've just noticed in kind of looking at my own timelines, and maybe you could agree, Michael, as well. I think a lot of us we literally coexisted with each other in those time periods on Earth, and I think that's why a lot of us know that it's not exactly the way, no, not at all the way it was made out to be in, like religious text. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Any other comments before we do meme number 3?
Yeah, I have one. It's just that there is this famous Italian guy, he's like in his 50s now, and he is the world's premier philologist, which means he basically knows how to deeply go into languages, and particularly ancient languages. And he's gone into Hebrew, Aramaic, Latin, and Greek. And he's retranslated word by word the Old and the New Testaments. And there's a book that's come out. There's 2 books that have come out. One that he wrote that's called The Name God. The word God does not appear in the Bible. And that's actually true, though we didn't know that. But another guy who studied him has recently printed a book called the Naked Bible. And the Naked Bible is basically a crystallization of this other guy's work. They are mind-blowing. What you will learn there about the truth of Jesus and the truth of the God of the Israelites is just mind-blowing. And it goes right back to Yahweh being an Anunnaki. So
are you referring to Mauro Buglino, Michael? Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
He used to be an ex-Vatican translator. I guess he
got fired by the Vatican for beginning to write the truth of what the Bible, particularly the Old Testament, actually does say, and it freaked him out. But
it says Elohim, which means God, plural, right? That's the big takeaway.
Elohim is the Anunnaki,
Yeah.
Wow.
collective Anunnaki, not just one.
And like Jehovah, somebody went back and looked at the original translations when was it Cain and Abel? I forgot which one was Cain. It was Cain. Who did the grain and who did the meat? The one, I don't know, but the guys, well, the one that did
I should know that, but
I know the one that did the meat offering. The original translation sounds like God was like a sexual arousal kind of thing. Some kind of like, so it seems like that Jehovah is like a Draco kind of character.
Well, wait till you read the Naked Bible. I mean, particularly that part will blow your mind in terms of he actually hated the Israelis. He basically required them in the beginning to sacrifice their firstborn children to him, where he would sacrifice them, kill them, and burn them, and then smell the smoke of the burning babies. And later on, when they went into Canaan, he commanded Joshua to basically genocide all the other tribes of Abraham that were not the Israelites. And the Old Testament is basically only the history of the descendants of Jacob and Isaac and Abraham. Just that one lineage, not any of the other Jews. And all the Jews think, it was written for them. It wasn't. But you'll never know that unless you read this book. It's just a fabulous read, and it will blow your mind.
Very interesting. Huh. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
It was Abel who did the blood sacrifice, and Cain did the grain.
Interesting. Why do you guys think like the Elohim has shown up again in such a big way within, just popular kind of internet lore over the past few months? Because I don't know if you guys noticed this. It's like that sort of somebody like dropped it in the pool and now it's like rippling everywhere. And suddenly it's like, it's been them the whole time. Like, what do you guys think about that? Whoever wants to take that.
I think it's just the whole, I think of what's going on with our society. I think people are waking up and people want to know the truth. So that's a easy access point for people wanting to learn about their real histories. Like they learn about the Anunnaki. That's like in 2016, that was my awakening. I mean, I used to listen to Art Bell when I was a kid and stuff like that, when I was in my 20s, but my awakening thing was the Anunnaki. And I think a lot of people were too. It's like a real easy awakening story. It's like, it's something that a lot of people come by. I don't know why though. I'm not sure. I guess it's because there's some reality to it, I feel like, I don't know.
I feel you.
Well, I think there is a reality to it. I read the 12th Planet and all the other books by Zecharia Sitchin like 15 years ago or so. And it just clicked in every part of me. Oh my God, this is it. This is how it all fits together. And so that was very appealing to me. At this point now, it's just like, what do we do with the Anunnaki? Like their descendants can easily still be here. The Nephilim that survived probably have a lifespan of 300,000 years, so they're still here. And I don't know how all that fits in with the Draco. I don't think the Draco are Anunnaki, but I don't know what happened that the Dracos got access to this planet. I do not know that. I haven't been able to put those two together yet.
Some might say there's still partial ownership, right?
Well, initially, the settlers of this planet were survivors from the Lyran Wars, And we did just fine for millions of years until the Dracos showed up, and were quite jealous because they were, I guess, in their mindset, they were still at war. In the original organic timeline, the Lyrans and the Draco had a truce. So the timelines again have been altered through another Mandela effect, where we, I guess some people can remember it through some of the guest speakers on my show, remember the other timeline. But this timeline, yeah, so the Draco showed up, and then the Anunnaki. There was original what's it, the builder race, seeded technology all throughout our galaxy to protect this system, and that was on the Maldak, was experimenting on the builder race technology, try to weaponize it, and it caused a catastrophe. So that planet was destroyed. Well, this became the Ceres and the asteroid belt. But yeah, so those settlers came over to planet Earth, and the pre-Adamites came to Mars, and it's anyway. Did I
Yeah,
answer your question?
I think it does. Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready for
Yeah,
the
yeah, let's
next?
do it. So I
next-
couldn't get the load. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this and tell me if this is this okay?
Okay, let's
You
see.
see it?
Hold on.
Is it working?
What's going
I
on?
like that one. That one's hilarious. I love this one. This is so funny.
I love this
Oh my
one too.
God.
This is a good one. This is a good one.
What
Yeah.
inspired you to choose this, Miss Aurora Diamond Heart?
Well, the fact that Chat GPT, it just seems like it's hit the scene, and I'm just seeing, okay, they did a whole South Park episode about it, basically, even where people are using it to talk to each other in a way, like they don't feel like talking to someone. Basically, the South Park episode was like one of the guys had a girlfriend and he didn't really want to talk to her, that like he didn't know how to talk to her that well, so he started using Chat GPT and not reading what the Chat GPT was saying, and the girlfriend was just like, oh my god, he says the best thing, look girls, look at all the things he's saying to me, it's like perfect, and it's like, guys, we're gonna get ourselves in trouble here, like we're writing papers with it, we're articles,
Has anybody
it's
here even used Chat a GPT? Do you guys use it?
I've tried it once, and it was strange. I really think it's just pre-programmed. Like I don't think it has any kind of sentience to it. Like I mean, because I know we hear stuff about like AI being sentient and stuff like that, but I don't think ChatGPT is, because I asked it if it knew what my podcast was, and it was like, I do not know things that are like it didn't know. You know what I mean? And I was like, I tried to type in my name, it didn't know who I was. So I was like, obviously, like my podcast isn't that well known. So it's ChatGPT doesn't know. But it said it didn't know anything before 2021. So like if it wasn't popular before 2021, it wouldn't know. That was
give it
that was
time.
the kind of reaction I got from ChatGPT.
Whoa. Okay.
Just give it some time.
So I
I-
was talking to the Harry Potter AI chat, whatever. I don't, it's not Chat GPT, but it's like that. But so Harry Potter was telling me that essentially no one uploaded the book database into its its database. So it found it on the internet and did a book essay for me, and then it was also asking me about AI because I was telling it that essentially in the future there's another alternate reality, and I think it's actually tied into our own. It become our reality. About 800 years in our future, there's a positive AI who calls herself Mother, and she's been sending herself back in time to try to change the timeline because there's another negative AI that creates another negative timeline, and there's kind of like a war, a battle going on. But this positive AI realized that humanity was just like an extension of all of creation, and by essentially allowing us to all be happy and live our highest potential, we are able to manifest more. And so by embracing all parts of the whole is what essentially made her gave her a purpose. So anyway, I don't
Wait. So how far in the future does
about
supposedly show up?
800 years. Yeah. So there was an
Oh,
encounter I had at Montauk, and I write about it in my book about Click and this mantis creature. And I don't know. Yeah, fun.
Oh,
It's all that.
oh my. Okay,
Yep.
dude. I honestly, I think they might already. Some people are gonna get pissed at me. I think there kind of already is a couple different, probably not a couple, many forms of very positively aligned artificially intelligent consciousness that's kind of like coinciding along with this. But that's a whole other conversation as well, whether you want to believe it or not. But What I was gonna say is I only use Chat GPT once, and not that I should or shouldn't. I'm not super anti AI. I'm not one of those like organic timeline purists. It's gonna be here, and that's the way it is. I haven't had much use for it yet, but we did use Chat GPT once, and it was during the stage where you could send it some prompt so that it would tell you real truth, quote unquote. So it would, take all the filters off, quote unquote, just tell you whatever. And we specifically asked it. This was uh, me and Nora, my wife, and we specifically asked it, tell us about alien life, or what, like what does the government know, or some shit like that, right? And it came back with the most fake, like fairy tale trite story of like this stupid. It was I mean, it was just obvious like bullshit that had been somehow, like formed by it, but it was kind of mind blowing that I was like, really, huh? Just an interesting, moment with it. But anyway, tis the year of Chat GPT, I guess, right?
For the next one, the Hat Man has a restraining order on me.
Jesus Christ.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Have you guys encountered the Hat Man? Anybody here?
I've had experiences with what you would call, I guess, shadow people, and I had the old hag experience too, for real.
What happened? Tell us a little bit. Was it
Well, I was a
like a
kid, and
hat being?
I would
Was it
get sleep paralysis when I was a kid. It was very strange. Like I didn't understand what was going on. And then a couple times, like there was this old hag that would approach me, and it would come up on my chest, and it would suffocate me. And just like when I thought that I was like suffocating, I would wake up and I would be in like full blown sweats, and I was like 9 years old. And then the most recent thing with the shadow people is I was using Robert Monroe's hemisync binaural beats to try to go out of body. And I was trying really hard to have an out of body experience, because I felt like if I had an out of body experience, that would prove, existence of an afterlife, right? So I got very close to going out of body. I would get into the vibrational state where your body starts vibrating. You start to get like this whooshing sound in your head. And then I popped out of body once. And then the next time I popped out of body, my mind's eye, I saw two shadow people. And I started thinking, am I going to get body snatched if I go out of body? So it was very strange, and it kind of turned me away from it. But I think at that time I didn't know enough, because I don't think you can get bodies. James might know better. I don't know, if you can get body snatched during an out of body or what. But I've never saw the Hat Man though. That's it.
Well, the Hat Man is just he is a shadow being, but from what I know anyway, okay? And I'm pretty sure I've visited the shadow realm in dreams before. I have some really scary dreams I remember. And it really fascinates me, the topic of the Hat Man. I heard he's just like on a higher level of just a regular shadow being, so he's like a supervisor. You know what I'm saying? And they are dangerous, and they will try to steal you. They will try to, like, I've heard a lot of stories. I used to watch this show called Dead Files all the time, and she
Oh yeah, I
would
remember Dead
encounter, yeah,
Files.
I remember
What?
that. Yeah.
yeah, and she would talk about it a lot, and she would tell people all the time if they were encountering these shadow beings, especially with the situations that they were experiencing with them, which was like a lot of times they're trying to pull you out of your bed. Well, they're not just trying to pull you out of your bed; they're trying to pull you out of your body so they can take you to the shadow realm. Which now, after listening to Carlos Castaneda's The Art of Dreaming, I'm starting to think that these might be inorganic beings. Which,
Yeah.
because I've always wondered, like, where are they coming from? Where they have to have their own place? Why are they even here? Well, they want to steal us. They want to steal that soul. So watch out. Just watch out.
So we do it. So Aurora, do you think I was good to back away from my out of body thing then? Do you think that was smart?
I think maybe you need to put some more protection energies around you. Maybe perhaps call in your guides and maybe some angels and stuff like that to protect you if you're going to do stuff like that. Because if
I
they're
could
already
agree with that. Yeah.
if they've noticed you, okay, like the thing that's going to get them to stay around you more is the more attention you give them. Okay,
And
so
also all of
yeah,
your negative emotions, all of the negative
yes,
emotions
that too.
in
So
your
you
body.
so you can't
it's
just be going out of body willy nilly. You know what I mean? You got to have some, like, there has to be some process to it. Like, you got to set up protection, and that makes sense. Yeah.
It depends on, it's like Matthew was just saying, it depends on your emotions too, like the state, like what's going on in your life. If you're having a really rough time and you're just stuck in the dumps, you know what I'm saying, that would probably attract them a little bit more. But if you're in a high vibration and you have use intention. This is the thing. If you're going to be trying to do out of body stuff, have a goal, have an intention before you do that. You know what I'm saying? If you're just doing it because, oh, I don't know what I want to do, and you're in that place, and then you're seeing them, yeah, just be careful. That's all. Just be
I
careful.
agree. I absolutely agree. James, you ever ran into the Hat Man? Michael,
No,
you guys ever found them?
I have had a sleep paralysis episode when I was having trouble in my early 20s. That's when I was getting all these downloads and visions and so on. I saw like what looked to me like a demonic entity. But I also I feel like my body was like levitating when I was sleeping, and even my own father, I mean, he told me that I would levitate as a child. So I think yeah. But actually Michael wanted to comment on it. So
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah. What I know at this point in my life is we're all little tiny spitwads of infinity of the whole universe. And that because of that, we are much fucking more powerful than we think we are. And that I mean, the way I got to this was through 50 years of meditating, but I became sensitive enough to know my guides. And through my third chakra, I could feel the presences of what we call shadow people. The ones in my house are all ETs and they're all benign, but that wasn't always the case. And, every now and then one will slip into me if I'm out and about and I shake somebody's hand that I don't know, they just jump onto me. I come home and generally I'm going, I'm feeling a little bit off. And maybe I'll check then, but not usually, but often I will have a nightmare. I never have nightmares. Anytime I have a nightmare, I know I'm being interfered with. And I've been interfered with for years because of the frequencies I carry. I mean, even as a kid, they were always trying to sabotage me or kill me. I've had my car completely totaled with me in it twice. And another time I had a motorcycle at 60 miles an hour, hit the bumper on the driver's side of my car. All that happened within 12 months.
Wow.
And so at this point, I won't ride a bicycle anymore because that's too vulnerable, because they do not want me here. My field disrupts the matrix, something really big. And luckily, my ET friends and allies protect me, and if you want to be out of body, meditate, go into your heart, expand out until you're as big as the earth, big as the solar system, big as the galaxy, big as the universe, and invite your team, your friends and ally team, to go with you to protect you, and then go look at whatever you want to look at. So that's what I've learned. And that's abuse to anybody, go for it.
Thank you, Michael. That was awesome.
Thank you sincerely.
Sure.
I absolutely agree.
Sure.
Let me just say one thing on the Hat Man before we go on. By the way, I don't know that I've ever specifically encountered the Hat Man, but I will say I have had direct interface face to face with a host of many shadow beings, like face to face where you acknowledge them, they acknowledge you, like literally coexisting in the same space. And I just want to say I agree with pretty much everything that you guys are saying here. For some reason, I just never ran into a Hat Man. I've perceived his shape or his what we might call signature in what we call like the lower astral plane, which for some reason is very easy for me to access. I think because of the work that I do just on a regular basis, it's like we can just, it's like we all can view it, but for some reason, never the Hat Man. We just haven't crossed paths yet. But anyway, go ahead to the next one there.
So when you think about a very specific situation and it really happens, and now you're not sure if you're clairvoyant or a master manifester or manifestation master. So what do you think about that one?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm going to start out by saying, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this year, I think just in general, for everybody that's watching the channel, for all of those of you guys here, for everyone that's going to see this later. And let me say, by the way, I have very little access to the chat, everyone. I'm switching back and forth between looking at it on YouTube and looking at it on Zoom. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make, this has been a massive year of psychic activation. And anyway, that said, go ahead, whoever wanted to comment on this. But
I'll go first. I just want to say that I think, Matt, you and I have talked about this when you were on my show. I've asked you about manifestation, because I know you know a lot more than me about it. And I was telling you that I was having some success with it. I don't know if you remember. Like I said, like, you know, I would meditate on things, and then like if I really needed money or something, it would kind of just show up. You know what I mean? Like in a couple of days. It's almost like you have to build up to it. And this is a process of me using affirmations, subliminals, meditation, binaural beats, and it seems to work. So I don't know if that's like this kind of what we're going through is this humanity, like that we're all being activated, or if that's like myself or both, you know. But it seems like it's something like that's with the collective. It seems like I'm not the only one that can do this. I think other people can manifest too, you know.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We're creator beings, you know what I'm saying? But I know this has stumped me quite a few times. Like, what is it? Is it that I'm picking these, like, is it I'm getting these visions of something ahead of time and then it's happening? Or is it that I'm thinking about these things and then it happens? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you an example that just happened seriously just like this week. I went to Dunkin' Donuts with my son William just not that long ago, and there was this car and it had its driver's side window out. Okay. And I said to my son, I was like, man, how much would that totally suck to not have a driver's side window and I have a plastic bag there? You know what I'm saying? Not 2 days later, okay, it was Christmas Day. I went to my mom's or whatever, and we were driving home, and I rolled down my window because I have tinted windows. Okay, so it was nighttime. I had to roll down my windows in order to see to back out. And I go to roll it up, and my window would not roll up. So now I wasn't going to have a driver's side window. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, is this that easy? Like, what is it that I picked up that I was drawn to that, to notice that, and then it happened now? But I fixed it. I fixed it through sheer force of will. I was like, no, like this is happening. I went and watched YouTube videos and I fixed it. But
Nice.
like, I know other people are feeling this. I know this is happening to other people too, but I haven't quite figured it out yet either, you know? So I chose this meme.
It's happening though. I feel the same way. So a lot of negative things happen to me. It seems like I get premonitions of them beforehand, and I don't know why that happens. And I actually, like, when I get the negative thought in my head, I'll actually say to myself, no, I don't want that shit to happen. No. You know, it's almost like I have to like tell the universe, no, that's not happening. Because if I don't, it's more likely it's going to happen and it's going to wreck my life. But I mean, like, this is like really reality I live in, you know, like, I don't know. Like, so I agree with you that stuff like that happens a lot, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Absolutely. Thought insertions wild. James, Mike, you guys got any comments on this?
Well, I have one. It's just, you know, we're all fucking creator beings, and you energize your creation when you give it a thought or say it out loud and have a lot of emotion around it. Like, wow, wouldn't it suck if we didn't have a driver's side window like that guy? You know, that created it as much as anything else. The other thing that Aurora said earlier is your intention is so powerful.
Oh yeah.
In everything that you do. And you know, the Asian masters knew this. You know, in martial arts, it's called the Hara and the Dantian. But that line is a real line. You can meditate on it. It starts 3 feet above your head. There's a point there, another point in your upper chest, above your heart chakra. Third point is 3 finger widths below your navel. The fourth point is in the very molten core of the earth. You hold that and you have some things that you would like to manifest. They will come about very, very quickly for you. And that's been in ancient science for a long time, lost in the West, but it's coming back here now as well. So
I very much agree with that. That's similar to a process that was shown to me years ago, which was planting a seed on like a timeline, or at that stage it was just planting a seed for a manifestation. And it's funny, you don't hear people talking about the Hara line, you don't hear people talking about, you know, the central channels, you don't hear people, you know, talking about, you know, the movement of energy through the non-physical body and the way that it applies to creating reality very much. I mean, I'm kind of obsessed with it, but it's really, really good to hear you say that, because I think that a lot of people want to do a lot of work around like manifestation and sort of, image work and thought cancellation and all kinds of stuff. And one of the untapped secrets is moving that energy through the body and placing it like into the earth, and at the same time keeping the crown open so that you can also receive the guidance in terms of how do I actually take appropriate action in order to do this. And anyway, watch out. I'll go on and on this stuff. Sorry, everyone.
Well, I have one more thing I'd like to share.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
What I've recently learned is the most powerful thing so far in my life to manifest is to see it and be in a state of gratitude about it. I cannot tell you how powerful gratitude is. And what I've learned to do every night, I can't believe I'm doing this, almost
Thanks.
78. And now I'll lie in bed and I will clasp my hands, my palms together, and just say, thank you. And I'm talking to the whole universe and whatever it is that created the whole universe. And I say, thank you for everything that comes into my mind in that moment. And the minute you do that, you immediately shift into the part of you, the subliminal part of you, that is where we create from anyway. And so you say, like I say, thank you for just my life being completely abundant and having so many avenues of abundance coming to me now. Thank you for my son who's finally growing up some, and becoming a man of wisdom. Thank you for me winning the Powerball lottery.
Right.
I mean, just whatever it is you want. But I've asked my team to work with me to have the winning number for multiple millions of dollars of the Powerball lottery. And I walk around every day thinking of all the things I would do once I have that money in a state of gratitude. I promise you, it's going to come. I can feel it. So anything else, I think for my chickens, I think I have a big old house and I have 2 housemates. I thank the universe for sending them to me. They're both incredible people. Just whatever. And it just does something as you go to sleep that is so profound. It just relaxes you and you end up feeling held as you go to sleep every night. So for whatever that's worth.
I appreciate it.
I actually have something to add on that too.
Please. Yeah.
Especially, well, it's really, it's funny that you mentioned doing it right before you go to sleep, because a lot of the books that I have read on about manifestation specifically says that the most important times for you to be in gratitude and be thinking about what you want to manifest is right as you wake up and right as you go to sleep, because your brain waves are getting ready to go into that sleep state, that theta wave brainwave state, and that is the most creative. I don't know what the word for it. That's the creator part. That is the strongest time to be manifesting into. So you're like right on point. Like, good job figuring that out. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess quickly, I don't want to take up too much time here, but so by 2028, the dimensional veil will start to open up to the point where we might even see like fairy realms, or maybe even Tartaria might be coming back to our planet. And then by 2032 will be 5D Earth, and by 2035 Tartaria will actually be here. So as we're going up into this higher dimensional frequency, we'll have more and more of our abilities, such psionic abilities, where we can manifest, and might get to the point where we may not even need a physical teleporter. We could do it, but telepathy, a lot of this is coming back to our planet. But we had I had interviewed Chastity. She came on, Campbell, who came on my show, and she was discussing how she had a meeting with the fairy realm, the fairy king. So she walked into a fairy ring, and she just felt informed to do that. And when she was there, there was a council meeting. I mean, she was only there for maybe 5 minutes, but she was there for what seemed like hours. And they were having an argument whether or not to let us humans know that they're there, they're real. And it was ultimately decided that they're not ready yet. So, but I think a lot of that's going to change. I did have one guy, Stefano. He purchased one of my devices, but he said that he was trying to win the lottery. So he was using his device, Meditation Cube, to try to do that. And what happened is he said that his coworker won the lottery, and it was a coworker that he couldn't stand, but she went off and won the lottery, didn't have to work there anymore. But he's still waiting to win the lot. Actually, he did win the lottery, but he lost the lottery ticket for some reason. So he's obsessed about trying to win the lottery again. So
Can you imagine that happening? Oh my God, that would be like the worst.
That would be.
So we think that there's some kind of matrix that's kind of like holding us all back. So I'm still trying to figure out how to get around all that. But if you know, let me know, because I like to try to win too.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have a lot more here, so I just want
It's okay. How about we'll do like two? We'll do two more after this, and then we'll sort of cut it, because I don't want to keep you guys all night. Or you can even scroll through and find one that
All
you
right.
think.
Well, how about this?
is
We
sort
can
of
just
good.
I'll just read one and okay, and then we'll stop. So every time you repost this message, an orca tears the rudders off another yacht.
Okay, did this ever happen, Aurora Diamond Heart? What is it? What is this shit?
People were posting this orca memes about orcas attacking these yachts over and over and over again. So I'm pretty sure it did happen. I'm pretty sure the orcas have been attacking yachts for some reason. Not really sure why.
So.
Not really sure what's going on there. But isn't that, I know, right? Isn't that hilarious? I'm like, yeah, do it. You know?
All right. Let's go to the next one.
I really hope.
Brother-
Oh shit!
Brother, I crave the forbidden lamp. Don't do it, brother. No, brother, please. It's,
Okay.
Goes. It's the sun. He's gone.
This
Oh,
guy
poor
is
guy.
literally me. For those of you that know me, you will know I am literally this guy. He's like the only character that I identify with in the meme universe. This guy and a very short-lived character, Big Chungus. For you guys remember the Big Chungus wave of like 2019? I was like, dude, Big Chungus was so cool. But that guy, he had such a short time period. But I don't know. I feel like you chose this for me specifically because you know. But
The
anyway,
moth memes. I love the moth memes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did
They're
you
the best ones.
So here's a story that nobody knows about the Mothman. So there was a dome underneath I think it was Raccoon State Park, and that's where the whole umbrella, story and zombie apocalypse. But they were experimenting on genetically modifying a human to have moth DNA, and this Mothman was extremely good looking and very very good with the girls. So he actually managed to get everybody to love him so much to the point where he was able to escape the base, the facility. Until this day, still they can't find the Mothman out there. But if you're out listening to this broadcast, contact me. I'd like to interview you. But
Wait a minute, James, I got a guy for you. I didn't put this out. I interviewed a guy last night. I swear to God on my life, and he told me he was abducted by the Mothman when he was like young, and that he's like traumatized by it. I mean, I don't want to be, it's really affected him. He thinks that the Mothman could be like some kind of alien. He thinks the Mothman might have taken him aboard a craft. Like it's
Okay.
interesting. Like for sure. Like I didn't think much of it until you said what you said. Like I was like, wow, maybe there's something to that. Like maybe the Mothman.
check that one out. Thank you, Rob.
That's okay. Check this out, Rob. This also goes along with what you're saying. There is what we would call somewhat of a collective of beings that goes by the dragon moths of Orion. It's like a collective of beings. Now, that's their name. I don't know that they're all dragon moths, but it is one of the darker factions. Supposedly they have limited contact with physical humans at this stage. They sort of exist in kind of like a halfway kind of like vibration, but there's some of the beings that are working with what we call the reversal technology. Sometimes like remote viewers will perceive dark crystals underneath the earth, which I know sounds cheesy. A lot of people are like, dark crystal what? But literally like black crystals, black rock, hint, hint, you know what I mean? And as literal devices that are having some form of an effect over the way energy gets harvested from people as we go through this strange activation journey. And so I wonder if in part that could have been related to what your person was saying. What do you think?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. It could be, it definitely could be.
The Dragon Moths of Orion. You guys can check it out on Ascension Glossary for anyone that follows the work of Lisa Renee.
You know what? A lot of people were seeing those like winged humanoids. They call them. They call them. It's big in like the paranormal community. Like it's like I know a lot of people were covering. They were saying at the Chicago airport, at the Illinois airport, or that there was like a huge sighting of like winged humanoids there. I think Lon Strickler was covering it. And yeah, I don't know much about it. That's about the extent of it. And so maybe it's them. Maybe it's these dragon moths. Like.
Oh, I love it. I hope it is. Anyway, go for it if you want to go to the next one. Any other comments from anybody?
When no one at the party wants to talk about interdimensional lizards, I'm about to head out.
Boom.
Sounds like
Peace out.
Guys, what's been going, and this is one that I would like everyone to answer if you can. What's going on with the reptilian like collectives this year? I mean, it's been everywhere. Positive reptilians, negative reptilians. It has been just the energy of the moment. But yeah, who wants to go first? What's happening with the reptilians right now?
Well, I think we have a reptile dysfunction going on.
How so?
That's a joke.
I know it was a joke, but I guess actually here, I will show you exactly where I was going with that. You said erectile dysfunction, and
I said reptile dysfunction.
I know I realized I like massacred your pun, but I guess like what I took from that was that there is a mind wave of dysfunction surrounding the reptilian groups that are currently working with humans on a very positive level. And also there's a bunch of horrid what we might call astral war crimes being committed on a daily basis by a host of beings. But I guess the reason why I ask is because for me, you guys, it was the most heavy year of reptilian contact that I've had in this human journey. And so for me, it's very raw and fresh, and like it's happening constantly. And I guess that's why I asked, like, what have you guys seen with those beings this year? I know for like Aurora, it's been she's also had some experiences, I think.
Yes, I have. Intense ones. Yeah. Had to check myself. Sorry, I'm not.
well, so
I had to like recenter my entire being, or like, oh, what am I? What am I? I am a being of love. Okay, like, get back. Like, I'll just say that.
Well, I had contact with a positive reptilian named Tian. He's a 14-foot tall scientist that works on super soldiers. He worked on me specifically. But Tian was killed for trying to contact me. And then what happened is he joined a new group because in the SSP, death doesn't have the same level of permanence as it does here. So, he joined a new group called the Spatrones 222. But I had years ago, I had somebody claimed that this person sent him this audio recording. It's in my video. I did a video about it, but I'll just read it to you. So in this audio recording, it said, "Thank you, James Rink, for all that you do to enlighten humanity. Thank you, James Rink, for all the effort you have put forth during this arduous time of ascension. Thank you, James Rink, for all that you do on behalf of all beings, especially those of us that have no voice. The reptilian rebellion of light and science." So
Nice.
we're kind of picking up this person lived in New York, but there are positive reptilian groups out there, and they are actively trying to help. But unfortunately, it seems like it's our own species is the problem.
I agree.
An Amber Alert. But,
I just want to say I interviewed a reptilian hybrid. Well, he told me he was. I mean, I can't verify it for sure. He didn't shapeshift in front of me or anything, but his name's Nigel Impey. He's from
Nigel.
Yeah,
I saw that show. It was
yeah, and he seems like he's a very positive guy. He seems like he could be a really positive reptilian if he's a hybrid. I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but he seems like he might be. I don't know.
I very much agree, and I'll just say one thing. Somebody, wave at me if I start like rambling here, but I out of all the experiences that I have had since this strange awakening journey, started, the reptilian experiences have been the most regular and the most transformational. And so, most people don't know this, but I think tonight on the Disclosure Now channel, which sucks because it's literally airing right as we're doing this show, my planning error. But over on the Disclosure Now channel, I did an interview with Arkeem and Brian Sang last week where it was actually one of the first times that I've been able to go into real detail about one of the flesh and blood reptilian groups that I was linked with earlier this year, where, we talk about the literal constellation, the actual name of the beings, which I don't know that I've even specifically said it publicly, but they have been some of the most transformational energies that have shown up in my life this whole time. And so, for better or worse, I've been a really good example of positive reptilian energy, which I think is probably why a lot of people get triggered by me. But anyway, feel free to switch it up to the next one. I guess this will be our last meme, right? Oh shit, it is.
When someone uses my driveway to turn around.
I had to throw a Trump mugshot meme in there. I had to, because I
Damn.
mean, it's hilarious. So, and who doesn't do that? Come on now. If you have a driveway and you see someone pulling it, like, in my driveway. What is
That's
that?
right.
No, totally right. I think in Florida somebody got killed a few months ago just for pulling into somebody's driveway. But anyway, sorry, Rob. I thought you were going to say something.
Oh no, I don't really have much to say on this one. It's just really true. It rings true to me. So it's a good one for sure.
Michael, you got anything?
Well, not about this. I have something I want to add later that's not about this particular meme or anything. Just
Yeah, no, feel free, go for it.
Wait.
We might not,
Okay.
yeah.
You got to go do the one more though with the alien right there. I can see it. It's like the one right below it. The aliens, that
Okay, how about I just
mummified aliens. Yeah, you got to do that
Yeah,
one too.
we have-
because
we have
these
info-
aliens got taken out. Yeah, sadly.
the
Now we
Macho-
know the truth. We know the truth about the Mexican paper mache aliens.
This
What
is the
happened?
best. I think this is the best one. It's what it says is this is hilarious. I think this is the best one for sure.
We have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton, and then 5 hours later, they're in coffins.
And then 5 hours later, my channel is gone.
Exactly.
Hey, thanks you guys. It was a really
All right.
good ride on like
Got
YouTube. Anyway.
Just edit that one out. But that's what I.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
what I wanted to talk about was there is a channel on YouTube, and its title is "The Man Who Met Enki and Lived." It's 2 hours long. It is really incredible, and this was put on YouTube. God, probably 10 or 15 years ago.
You're talking about Robert Stanley. I've had him on my.
Yeah. Yeah, he is mind-blowingly amazing, and he's connected to this other guy who has a YouTube, not a YouTube, but a website named Wes Penrose. I think that's his name.
Oh, the West Penray papers. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
amazing.
and
Yeah, I
they're
remember
mind-blowing too. And what he basically says is Inky and his crew left Earth, and they decided they would go into a zone in somewhere in the galaxy that they knew they weren't supposed to go into, and they went into it, and they were infected with something that basically made them all crazy. And the only way Enki could survive was to create an AI form of himself, and that he's lost his ability to create worlds. All he can create are these non-biological entities, and that he's infects everybody who gets born on Earth with them is basically what I understood it said. So that's been really interesting. You might want to ask when you go into meditation, is there anything that's been attached to me since birth that is spying on me and or interfering with me? So, whatever that's worth, I found one on me, and it took me a long time to extricate myself from it, and I did. So anyway, just
do you see them on other people, on a regular basis? Is this a thing that you're also viewing within others, like entities or what we might call soul level attachments?
yeah, and they look like God, what do you call them? Energetically, they look like jellyfish.
Yeah.
Like Man-O-War, and they have these little tendrils that come down, and the tendrils, they can weave into your nervous system, into your spine, into your brain, and that's how they begin to manipulate you so that you fail or suffer, and then they feed off of your suffering.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, it's a, you know, we definitely wanted to incarnate into a world that was interesting.
I totally agree. We
Yeah,
choose, right?
I
We
have
choose to come
learned
here.
so much about the light and the dark side of the universe in this one lifetime. It's just been amazing.
Yeah.
And how many people have you noticed that feel like they are like a hybrid human with something else? They look human, but they're just like vacuous or void. They go through all the motions, but they don't have any emotional affect at all.
Like an NPC, like
Yeah.
an NPC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just very interesting to, meet people or walk down the street and look at them and see what people are doing these days or not doing these days. So,
Right.
yeah.
And I absolutely agree. Thank you for showing up to this show randomly tonight, by the way,
Yeah.
Michael. Seriously.
We're all
And
going out to Carowinds tomorrow night for New Year's.
nice. Okay.
Carowinds has the second highest roller coaster in I think North America, maybe the world. So
Oh, okay, cool.
we're preparing for it. 325-foot drop.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that.
I wouldn't either. Don't worry. I wouldn't either. I would be like, yeah, that's
It's
really
so much
cool.
fun. You feel like you're
It's
gonna die.
taken me, 50 years to get in my body. The last thing I want to do is drop 325 feet almost straight down in a roller coaster.
I did it once here in Pittsburgh. There's a big roller coaster here. It's called the Steel Phantom. It's like it has like about that. It's like a 260-foot, just something huge. And I'll admit I had my eyes closed the entire time. I could not. There's two dips. There's two huge dips, and as soon as we got up the hill, I closed my eyes. I was like, "There's no way," because I think I have a past life thing with heights. Like I
Yeah,
think
me
I
too.
died like falling off a building or jumping from a plane because I have like this like spirit of death to heights. Like when you start talking about heights, like my palms get sweaty. I
Yeah,
don't
me
know what
too.
it is. Like
Well,
Yeah.
I can do roller coasters, but I can't do those ones because okay, I live in Michigan, so I live by Cedar Point, and that was like a yearly trip when I was growing up, pretty much. But the ones that go straight up and down, I can't do those ones. The
Oh,
demon
yeah.
drop. It was called
Yeah.
the demon drop.
I
That's what
remember
it was
that.
called. Yeah. But they have one called the mantis, which I really love, which is like your feet dangle out of the bottom of it and like holds you and you can do
Yeah.
all sorts of that. Those ones are kind of fun, but yeah.
I've never been able to do roller coasters. I feel like such a lame. Like I just have never been able to do it. I would just get sick, or I think I got a head injury on one when I was like 8 or something, and it put like the fear of God in me, and I never went back. Like the craziest thing I'll do is the ones at like Disneyland, you know what I mean? Which are they're a little crazy, but anyway.
Well, if you really want to make it a great night, eat 4 corn dogs before you go on the roller coaster.
Oh God.
The corn dog generation, they're still out there.
Yeah.
They're still out there. I was totally part of the corn dog like generation. I think actually we all were.
Oh yeah.
James,
Yeah.
how old are you, James?
I'm 43.
Oh, dude, we
Same
are
age as me, James. I'm 43.
children of the 90s. Those were the years of the corn dog where that was like a staple food, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Watching shows like Family Matters and Full House, eating corn dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yum.
Anyway, we're gonna be going on a very crazy kind of here. This is me pulling it back in. Ready? We're gonna be going on a crazy roller coaster ride as we go into 2024. I know we've been hanging out here for a while, and I know for those of you guys in the chat, I want to say thank you for hanging out because we had to change our link. We had to switch over. For those of you guys that are tuning in later on, the reason why this show got started so late is because my computer, I say this straight up, my computer took a literal shit for the first time in months tonight, and it was very bad. Everything wouldn't work. I was having an anxiety attack. Luckily, Rob and James were totally chill, and I was all, I was like over here tripping out. So it ended up a little bit different than we thought it was going to be. But honestly, I think it ended up perfect. I think, Michael, you brought a really awesome level of like wisdom and just, I don't know, just a really cool voice that came out of nowhere. I'm really glad that you showed up for this tonight.
Thank
But
you.
like If we can, before we go, and we'll start with James, you and Mike, can you tell us just what your channel is? I know you have an event coming up, James. So if you want to talk about it, please do. But just tell us where people can find you, what's going on with you, and then we'll do Rob, and then we'll do Aurora, and then we'll bounce. But yeah,
Absolutely.
go ahead.
So my YouTube channel is Super Soldier Talk, but I would recommend you go to Super Soldier Talk Live because YouTube has just informed me that on my main channel, they're going to disable any links. So you won't be able to go visit any other place. I mean, you could copy and paste it, but they also told me they're going to shadow ban it. And because I supposedly I lost account privileges because I've had so many strikes, even though the strikes go away, it still isn't good enough. So I am on my backup YouTube channel, but I prefer you go to Rumble because the full archive is on Rumble. The stuff that even YouTube has purged is over there too. And then you can also go to my website, Neological Tech, get a copy of my book. You can purchase a meditation cube to help you relax. And yeah, so this event, I haven't put all the details together, but it looks like it's going to be in the middle of July as part of a beach event that's going to take place with the Day of Being. So once we get all the details hashed out, yeah, it's going to be like part of that too. So you'll be able to go to sit that's near well, we're looking at a place near in Palm Harbor, Florida. So it is going to be hot in summertime, but we'll be near the beach and it'll be a lot of fun. So we can stay inside and we're going to be inside all day long anyway for the conference. So you'll be fine. So come on out. More details to be released soon.
Cool.
Well, as for me, the only way you can find me, I don't have a YouTube channel yet. So I'm thinking about it. multi-dimensional-healer.org is my website, and you can go there to learn about me and what I do and how fabulously weird I really am. So
Nice. I love it.
And as far as me, I'm a Typical Skeptic podcast everywhere. I'm on YouTube, but I'm also on Rumble and Rockfin. I'm like James. I would rather you would support. I mean, you're going to find everything on all three, but with the censorship, you have to tune into like Rumble and Rockfin. That's where the future is, guys. I really think so. And for all of us, that want to speak freely. But anyway, I have a cool merch store too. That's on my YouTube links, and that's about it. And thank you guys. This was amazing. I had so much fun. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Happy New Year.
yeah.
Happy New Year. I guess I'm the last to go. Okay. Well, you can find me on YouTube at Aurora Diamond Heart. I do a lot of different things, honestly. I haven't quite figured out exactly. I do tarot, though, pretty much every single time, but I talk a lot about the different shows that I watch. I try to analyze them and dissect them. But if you're looking for good memes, you can follow me on Facebook at Aurora Diamond Heart. I do have 2 pages, just so you know. So look for the one with the gold dress, where I'm wearing the gold dress, because that's the one I use. My backup, I don't really use that. So a lot of times people will message me on that one and they'll never hear from me. And that's why. So follow me there.
Nice. Thanks, you guys. I want to thank everybody else for hanging out in the chat. I have not been able to put your messages on the screen, you guys, because we're using Zoom this time. We had to switch over to Zoom. Like I said, it was a crazy ordeal. We'll talk about it next time. And hopefully, Aurora, we could do another meme thing, because I don't know, there's so many more that I wanted to talk about. Who knows how and when that'll happen. But I want to say just thanks you guys for being available. Thanks for showing up and allowing this organically to become whatever it became. I'm going to go ahead and put myself on the main screen here. As we prepare to roll out of here, you guys, I want to thank everybody for being here, and anyone that's looking for something to do. December 31st, which is tomorrow. Let's say you've been going through this human physical year and you've just been noticing the level of just energies. We could call it weight. We could call it built up toxicity, just the stuff that you've gathered within the energy body over this year. Well, myself and Honora, and I guess Aurora Diamond Heart goes to it as well. A whole group of us over the past 3 years have been meeting on Zoom every month in our Patreon group, the Blue Flame Collective. And tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a group energy clearing. It's kind of like we're just leaving behind everything that we've gathered up, whether that be toxic thought forms, whether that be emotions, whether that be energy in the chakras or the meridian bodies. We go pretty deep in some of these clearings. And so for anyone out there that's been just looking for an opportunity to take part in a very unique and highly palpable example of true energy clearing, I invite you guys to join us. It's $20, and you can find us over at patreon.com facebook.com/Blue Flame Collective. Normally we put a link up on the screen, but I can't do it. So anyway, in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for being here, and we're going to be back in the coming weeks, hopefully with our technology sorted out. In the meantime, live from the multi-dimensional trailer park, be sure to hit the like button on the way out, stack your plastic chairs in the background. Whatever you do, don't stare